I'll bet. Okay, now there's a big mess on the wall behind me. Can you see my camera very clearly, Brad, or is it quite pixely?
That's quite pixely.
Don't know what's going on there.
Like I can see the handle, the square handle on the top of your dresser drawer is square, but the rest of them are sort of undistinguishable. There's nothing I can read. I can't read anything on your wall, so I can't.
What if I do that? Is that a little bit better?
No, that just zoomed in.
Interesting. Oh, I have a theory. I have a theory.
What? Fine here for me.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second. I'm going to disconnect or drop out or something.
Yeah. Because on the little viewer down the bottom. Yeah, you're still here. On the little viewer down the bottom, you're perfectly clear. But yeah, just.
It's because it's a heavily compressed image.
You're not recording in 1080, are you?
No.
Mine's only 720.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go with it anyway and see how it goes. Okay. That's that. That's going there. Bloody hell, I'm quite tired.
You look it.
Yeah, we've just moved everything around in the house this week, and it's been a long week. So basically, I'm 1/4 of the way through taking over SPS On Demand. So yeah, it's been quite a busy week.
Nice.
Which means if you have a problem with SPS On Demand in the future, I may be able to help you, but I probably won't.
I did have a problem. What was it? I can't recall now.
So help me. So help me if you go, oh, I was trying to watch insert name of show on ABC here, I will reach through the screen and do something terrible to you.
I could thank you for the glitches in My Kitchen Rules, or on the 7 Go app, or whatever it is. The 7 one.
No, because the whole thing about being in charge of SPS On Demand is that it's SPS On Demand. Let's go, shall we? We are actually broadcasting. Not that anyone's really watching, but yeah. There are 0 viewers. You will probably be happy to know. Let me bring the run sheet up. Put the run sheet in a window here. That'll be good there.
The date's wrong. I don't know what's happened there.
You just forgot to edit it.
Oh, I did. Made sure, because it's got that double dash there for some reason.
I don't know what that means. Alright, Bill is not here, and neither is John. Yeah. Okay, I don't have a favourite post of the week.
No, it's post of the year.
I don't have a favourite post of the year.
You got to have something.
Does anyone have a favourite post of the year? No one has filled anything into the run sheet. Brad, do you have a favourite post of the year?
Yes.
What is it?
Take your bot to work week.
Okay, cool. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. There.
And man, I love multi-screening. Like I can have like all of the run sheet stuff on one window and just leave Google Hangouts on the other. It's perfect.
Excellent. Okay. Gonna get a move on. Go. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf, the voice of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. This is episode 50. That's 50. There's a little bit of a dance because this is actually a video podcast now. That's Brad doing a bit of a dance. Daniel is in fact dancing in the nude, but you can't see him because he's hidden behind a lack of a webcam.
He's dancing in the dark.
So someone needs to someone needs to work that music into the podcast, except we'll get done. But don't do it because we'll get done for copyright infringement. This is episode 50. We are a year old. So it's a big milestone. We missed a couple of weeks, so it is actually our birthday episode. And hey, it's episode 50. We're 50 episodes young. So well done to everyone involved, especially to yourself, Brad. Come hell or high water, you've been adamant on pumping out a podcast every week. So yeah, congratulations. Thanks.
Yeah, had to cancel a lot of functions. trips, all that sort of thing. But
I've cancelled a lot of Friday nights. I think my most interesting experience with you recording was when you were in the hotel room in Melbourne, and there were like there was cars going past, there were sirens and
motorbikes.
I'm fairly sure someone like someone got murdered or something outside your hotel room. I'm not really sure.
Oh, and the worst thing was, like, my partner was sleeping there, and the one kid was there, and another kid was there, and yet here I'm huddled over the microphone trying to do a podcast at 10 o'clock at night. On hotel Wi-Fi too, which was scary enough.
Sounds pretty good to me. Now, so let's quickly go through what have you been up to this week. It is a momentous week. I have actually been busy as hell. I'm doing a handover on some stuff at work, so that's been interesting. How about yourself? I'm going to pick Dan first. What have you been up to, Dan?
University stuff. So I've been organising my second degree because I got to keep myself educated.
It sounds very burn-worthy.
Yeah.
Second degree burns.
Yeah, pretty much actually. History and English Lit, double major in arts. So I've got that and rearranging my house, much like you. And that's about it, really. I haven't had much time to do much else other than eat and sleep.
Long-time viewers will notice that the setup behind me is half constructed, as opposed to my normal setup. I say long-time viewers in full awareness of the fact that we've never done this before. So,
yeah.
Brad, what have you got up to?
There have been photos of displays before. We know how the cube works.
I'm probably going to change the cube soon, actually. But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. No, pretty quiet week. Yeah, not a lot has happened.
All right. Well, on the note of it being a quiet week, let's move on.
I've moved into here, so
you've moved in here, and judging by the backdrop, you've been drinking a lot.
Oh, that's over a few years.
You say this now, but next week I expect to see it double.
That wardrobe, they're all behind that as well, but there's no double ups. They're all different bottles of different flavourings and thingos since the start of my drinking career all those years ago. You're
a unique bottle collector. No double
collect. Yeah, just collect one of everything I've drunk. Really.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's move on with it. We have a little bit of admin boilerplate, as is always the case about this time. Off the Shelf is the podcast, not the voice. It is the podcast, and it is the voice for Transformers Collectors Club Australia. You can find the website at transformerscca.com. There'll be links to the Facebook groups, the YouTube channel, Twitter page, and of course the podcast. Podcast goes up on YouTube. It goes up on iTunes, so please find it over there and give us a rating. It does not go up so much on YouTube at the moment. We're having a few production issues, but that's okay. We'll sort them out, and we'll be doing our best to sort of find a way to make the podcast video YouTubeable without sort of taking up hours and days of Brad's time. So we'll see how we go.
Episode 47 is done. I was halfway through uploading it before we started this, but it'll be up tomorrow, and I'll get 49 and 50 done.
All right.
Next week.
Sounds good. Paid and Proud memberships. They have closed for the 2015-2016 financial year. Please don't send membership renewals. Brad is drowning in paperwork at the moment, but he's working hard to restructure the membership system. Did I say membership system? That's going to need an edit. He's working hard to restructure the membership system and make sure that paid members get more benefits.
Yes.
So expect to see something come of that in the next few months. If you are a paid member at the moment, renewals will be due in the new financial year. So we'll talk about that more then.
Exactly. Yep. It's all
right now,
renewals the new financial year. So we've had a couple of people just sending through membership renewal out of willy-nilly. I've refunded them and said just hold off until the end of the financial year. And it'll be
ominous. Refund is ominous.
I'd love to keep your money. I would.
Yeah.
But no. No.
Seems to be the
Just hold off. Yeah, just hold off
the
to
week
May.
for refunds, doesn't it? Okay, so the Patent Proud member count this week, we've got 203 Patent Proud members. That's plus one, so that's going to be where we leave it for the rest of the financial year. But that's okay.
Yep.
And
I've
there's
had
currently 1,626 people in the Facebook group. Pretty impressive number there.
We've come up by 8 this week.
Given that we are actually celebrating the year on this podcast, I remember it being a big deal when we hit 1,000. So, yeah, pretty good. I think I say that every week as well, it being a big deal when we hit 1,000. So, onward and upward, we're nearly to 2,000 now. So, good show.
When we started the podcast this time last year, we had 5 Patent Proud members.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
that's gone up quite a lot. And of course, that money has indeed been spent on some things like attending Supernova. It's been spent on raffle prizes. Things that we need to do to keep the club running. So well done. Thank you everyone for your help. Now, on the subject of raffles and donation drive prizes, the February donation drive is currently on. There are some good prizes on offer for those who donate. You could be up for an MP13 Soundwave. That's the Takara version. Combiner Wars.
No, it's a Hasbro. It's a Hasbro one. Sorry.
Why does it say MP13 in the run sheet?
I'm like,
look, you know I'm like Ron Burgundy, right? I will read anything that's in front of me.
Oh, I didn't put Takara there.
Yes, you didn't have to. Okay, so it is a Masterpiece Hasbro Soundwave. My apologies. There's a Combiner Wars Scattershot, Combiner Wars Onslaught. So they're the newest Voyager torsos for Combiner Wars. There's a reissue G1 Optimus Prime up for grabs, and 2 A4 framed G1 cast prints. So last tickets get sold on February 26th, which is you've still got a few days once you listen to this. So get in there. You got to be in it to win it.
Yep, not long to go now.
So there's a couple of events coming up that you should be aware of as well. Melbourne Toy, Comics and Video Games Trade Day is on Saturday the 27th in Narre Warren. There's an event section on the main group. You can find details in there. There will be a table there for TCCA, so come along and see if you can find some treasure. There's a Comic Expo coming up that same weekend as well. It's on the 28th at the Collingwood Town Hall. Again, TCCA has a table. We have many tables this weekend. We've actually been tableless for most of the year thus far, but this weekend we're splashing out and we have 2. But this is
going to be a busy weekend.
This is what Paid and Proud memberships are for. They allow us to actually go out and get tables at these shows and get out and meet people and get them to come and join the group and talk with other fans. So I think it's a good thing.
I got some free tickets to give away for that event too. So keep an eye on the group.
That sounds like some stuff that's going to be going on this week in the group.
Yep.
Now, given that it is the 50th episode of the podcast, and we normally do a favourite post of the week, let's extend the scope somewhat this week, shall we? Let's go for a favourite post of the year. I'm going to say let's just do one because a year is quite a long way back to think about on the spot. Unless you've got something like I actually don't, but unless you guys have got something, Brad, what have you got?
I think the whole concept of take your bot to work week and what sort of stemmed from that. I saw that go. I think a lot will agree that what John Ryan's been doing at the pizza shop with a lot of his bots has been quite good to look at. Even there's been some watching over office computers, that sort of thing as well, and I just really love seeing the figures out there in the real world. And I'm not crying. I have a Mozzie coil going off under me and spitting in my eyes.
Fair enough. On the subject of not crying, someone's making thumps every few seconds on their microphone.
Okay. Apologies.
Okay, that's stopped. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So I don't really have a favourite post of the year. Dan, do you have much?
I actually kind of like early in the year we had somebody post up their computers that was done in all the Decepticon colours with the laser etched Decepticon logo and stuff like that from the computer.
I remember that post.
On their tower.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was probably my favourite, I think. That was definitely something I quite enjoyed. That was cool.
Yeah, cool. Have you figured out if we can actually do that ourselves, or did he just get it custom made or anything?
If you go to a screen printers or a sign writers, often enough they'll do it for you.
Okay.
All you do is you need, or if you're a bit of a DIY, a Dremel will work on the exact same. Just need a grinder kit for your Dremel.
If you're really steady hand, I suppose you could use an engraver, but you'd want to have some sort of layout already on the tower to sort of go over.
Well, I assume it's just a bit of plastic that you attach to the side of it.
Yeah. Well, again,
Yeah,
that's me thinking 20
Perspex.
years ago. Yeah.
Mm.
That's me thinking 20 years ago when you couldn't do stuff like that.
Yeah, so I don't really have that much for a year. Looking back for a whole year, I feel quite ill prepared. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I think.
Do you want a couple?
Well, sure. If you've got some runner-ups, let's hear 'em. What else has been good for the year?
Favorite posts of the week? No.
Okay, Brad's opening run sheet and looking through them. We're not going to do that, so it's okay. Let's just move on. Now, I should also mention, like, this podcast we're gonna try to get this podcast out of the way fairly quickly because we do have a commentary coming up this week that we're going to do because it's 50 episodes. I think we did a commentary at 25 as well. So
yeah, we did.
Yeah. Brad's also forgotten to mute his microphone as he's getting something off the floor.
I'm trying to get rid of this Mozzie call. Right. Yeah, 25 we did. We'll probably do another one at 75 just to keep some sort of continuity going.
All right, let's get to it, shall we? There's been a huge amount of news over the last week or so with Titan's return. There's quite a lot of news that's come out of the New York Toy Fair. Now, you guys covered a lot of it last week. I was unfortunately not available, but that's okay. It's fine because this week is where all the good stuff has come out. Rather than Hasbro coming out and just going, oh, we're going to be doing figures of these characters, this week we've actually seen pictures of the characters.
We'll show you what they look like.
Well, someone will show us. Sort of. So, first thing started off this week, we got a look at Brainstorm. Now, Brainstorm is not a character that has been wanting for updating for a while now. So we got some, we got a look at him in the Generations line with More Than Meets the Eye, and I'm just going to switch my camera over to Brad's screen share at the moment, and alongside all the ads there, Brad is also showing you a picture of what Brainstorm looks like there. Now, he doesn't look a lot different to his G1 figure. It's pretty good. I'm not in love with most of the designs for Titan Returns. Like Titan's Return, I kind of feel like Brainstorm didn't need another figure or another update. There are some parts of this figure that are way closer to the G1 figure than the Generations one from a couple of years ago, but there's also a few that are just a little bit different. And I mean, it's an update to the figure. He's still a headmaster, so have at it. But what do you think, Dan? Do you like the look of the new Brainstorm?
I do. I much enjoy. I enjoy much the look. Just like looking at it there. There was no actual physical picture of like the actual toy. But seeing the image, it looks awesome. I enjoy the accuracy and the throwback to G1. A little bit beefier than I thought, which is cool. Plus those cannons on the side of his right arm, man, they're just awesome. Awesome.
I think you mean his left arm, but that's okay. It's close enough.
Yeah, total distraction.
Just viewing it, it's just awesome.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a Megatron arm cannon thing going on, doesn't he?
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the repaint,
Brainstorm.
the repaint wars have started again.
Well, it's not a repaint; it's a new figure.
Yeah, but he's the same or very similar mold to what we'll see in a minute.
No, mold-wise, he's. Oh, I see. You mean there's going to be an early repaint of him.
Yeah, Blur. Apparently he's got a lot of similar parts to Blur, but remold, reusing of parts. It's a blurry area.
Wow.
I didn't get the Generations version. This doesn't look too bad.
There's still
to me.
that thump going on in the background.
Sorry, it's me dropping the mouse. I'll let go of it.
Just leave the mouse alone.
Let go of it. It's I haven't got the Generations one. This might end up on my shelf. We'll see, but yeah.
So let's
wait till see real ones, because at the moment art's not giving a good representation of what the actual figure looks like.
So let's jump ahead a little bit and talk a little bit about Blur now. Blur we've got renders for, and of course Hasbro's renders always look way better than the toy does, especially in terms of detail, and especially in terms of paintwork applications as well. But I don't know. I'm not necessarily buying that Blur and Brainstorm are the same figure. I don't know if there's a remold thing going on there, then it's heavy enough.
The legs is going to see with those bits. Those thrusters on the side of his leg.
I don't see the legs. Yeah, no, I don't see it. But let's see what happens.
All I
when we
see
get
is
the
just the
figures
giant clear bit in the chest. That's legitimately it. Like the cockpit is
the cockpit.
That's all that sort of reminds me of between either of them. Otherwise, they look like completely different figures.
So Blur's vehicle mode, if you scroll down a little bit there, Brad, Blur's vehicle mode looks like quite a nice homage to his Generation 1 vehicle. We haven't quite figured out why Blur is a headmaster yet.
Because it's the anniversary of the 86 movie. They had 86 characters.
Well, maybe. Maybe. That doesn't quite explain the headmaster aspect. It explains the Blur aspect.
Yeah.
But, nice
This
try.
is looking 1,000 times better than what we've seen in other previous sort of news articles about him.
You mean they spent more time rendering him?
Yeah.
It is just a CG render at this point.
Yeah, even the photo we seen last week of him sitting on top of Fort Max didn't look this good, which makes me think, right, this is good art, but it's not what we're going to get from the figure, so still on the fence about it.
So since we are actually looking at the Titans Return figures, if you keep on going down that page there is one hell of a nice looking Chrome Dome. Now, I say it's one hell of a nice looking Chrome Dome. It's mainly because that head sculpt is just right on par with what I want out of Chrome Dome based on the comic. The headmaster for Chrome Dome looks great. The rest of him, the colours are accurate, so whatevs. And the car
actually does look good. I really like the look of Chrome Dome.
I think so too. I think his car is quite the homage to his G1 character as well. It seems very much a case of them taking a lot of these guys and updating them and just going, well, this is what we probably should have done in the 80s. If we had the technology from 30 years later, sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I don't like though. If you keep on going, I don't like Mind Wipe at all.
Just with Chrome,
Mind Wipe looks like Lego.
Just with Chrome Dome, is there another figure that's been brought out recently, or a third-party figure?
Yes,
Chrome?
there's a Make Toys Capola is a third-party rendition of Chrome Dome.
Yeah, that's all right. That's where I recognise that head from. Okay.
Probably is, yes.
Yeah.
So Chrome Dome has quite a lot of brown in his G1 figure, and I think they've lightened that up a little bit for the Titans Return figure. But you can still definitely see the brown there, and since this is a render, it might end up being a lot browner. We'll see.
Yeah.
So who's a fan of Mind Wipe?
No idea who it is. There's some good engineering going on.
I kind of like the bot mode, but I don't really like the alt bat dragon mode thing.
Yeah, I don't like the alt mode at all. The bot mode, I think it's quite clever the way they've actually folded his wings around his leg.
I'd like to see the back of those legs though, because I can guarantee that wing hasn't folded around the whole leg.
Yeah, sure.
Just looking at that.
I think I don't really care. Sure.
Again, who poses their figures backwards?
Yeah, indeed. So the other one that we want to talk about out of this batch is Scourge, who's a little bit further down now. There was a piece of artwork for Scourge released earlier this week, and
A poor piece.
I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty bad. So when Combiner Wars came out first with a lot of this really quite nice artwork for a lot of the combiners and stuff like that. It was all. There was a lot of attention paid to the artist who was doing all of these character pieces, and so he's sort of taken on a bit of star status, and he started releasing the artwork that he's done for Titan's Return. He's like, oh, I'm really happy to have had the opportunity to do these figures, and I think all of us have looked at them and just gone, wow, don't really like them at all. Scourge in particular I think the artwork for Scourge does not actually do justice to the figure. The figure looks much better, but there's something with his gun that I quite dislike.
It's an odd design.
It is.
You mean the trident type? How it looks like it's just the three prongs.
Yeah.
It kind of.
It doesn't look
disjointed.
symmetrical. Yeah, it doesn't look symmetrical. That top barrel isn't in the middle. The bottom two. It seems like from this thing, but again, it's just a render. So.
So Scourge's vehicle mode. This is the first time we've seen this in so much detail. I think we looked at some renders of these a few weeks ago. I think with both Blur and Scourge, and at the time we were just like, wow, these figures look really boring and flat. And so in these renders, you can see a lot more detail coming out in them. But that stuff is not going to make it into the final toy. Like the renders look fantastic. And it's because you can actually see the panel lines on the figures, and Hasbro is not going to panel line their figures.
No.
So I don't know. These renders could be the best interpretation of Titan Wars figures. I don't know. So again, it's a good homage to his G1 alt mode. Just
it does look
updated, a little bit modernized.
Yeah, it does look like a very good alt mode. I definitely see Scourge when I see it.
Yeah, that alt mode.
What's going to be lost?
Just to reiterate what you're saying, yeah, like that is an amazing alt mode, like from the render. I really like it. It's cool. I wish Hasbro would release like a figure with that much detail.
Yeah,
definitely. Like even the light blue panels on the front, like that's all going to be the same grey with Hasbro. Maybe if you wait for the Takara version. There might be some detail, but a lot of this panel line is going to be lost in the moulding anyway. I don't see that going into the mould process to start with. Like even all the stuff on the boosters, that's a lot of detail there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It just looks amazing.
Okay, let's move on to the last Titans Return piece. Oh wait, is it the last one? No, there's two more Titans Return pieces, but let's move on to the Legends. We have seen some renders again. Just give me a second because the TCCA account dropped out. Sorry, I'm just refreshing that page now. Oh, come on! What's going on?
What page? Oh,
there's an account that's logged into Hangouts that's controlling the broadcast, and it just lost its connection to Hangouts for some reason, and it's reloading that page now. It's kind of weird that I'm actually even still connected to the call.
We're still live.
We seem to be, yes, but I'm not comfortable with going until I can see it in that window.
Yep.
Oh, for
Yeah,
fuck's
you're not in the window.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, and it's in, and I can see it's live again now. Okay. Let's go back to the intro for the Legends, shall we?
Yep.
Okay, and yeah, okay. All right, so we also saw some Legends figures revealed this week, again in render form, but you know they are what they are. At least we have renders to look at. So Brad, if you want to scroll down there and show us, at long last we get Laserbeak, who ironically this time around is a redeco of Buzzsaw, which is
Not the other way around.
Yeah, not normally the way it goes around.
He's very
To
great.
be fair though, that too. But the Buzzsaw mold I actually really enjoy. Like I have Buzzsaw, and it's awesome. I enjoy the whole mold for Buzzsaw. But looking at Laserbeak, I like it. Like if it's that grey when it comes out, like that steel grey in the actual figure, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. So, just looking at his sort of tablet mode, it looks like he's got a couple of interesting little Easter eggs on his scanner screen. It looks like there's something crossed out, and it looks like an Optimus Prime.
Autobot symbol.
Ah, right. Yeah. So no Autobots allowed, and something else which there's something that looks like his G1 cassette form as well. So yeah, that's quite cute. And then with a couple of extra little panel flips around, he becomes a little mobile figure as well. So
yeah, working with the Silverbolt, the Soundwave playset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
they've probably gone for as far away from like the exact opposite the Buzzsaw colouring as they could have gone.
Yeah, I think so. The next one is kind of controversial because
Rumble is red.
Yeah, Rumble is black and red in this instance. I got to say I don't really like what they've done with the forearms on Rumble because I really dislike Transformers where the hand is just molded into another piece and they're like you can just move the car door up and down and that's like moving his arm. And with Rumble's arm, they've just sort of just gone, I don't know, just stick it in a part of his, I don't know, what even is his alt mode? He's a little tank.
It's the side of the turret.
Yeah,
turret on the side of the PDA.
Yeah, I find that a little bit lazy, but I don't know how else they do it, so I'm not going to criticize that much. Like, I have actually found that the Legends figures in Combiner Wars have actually been some of the figures that give me the most pleasure out of the whole line. So. I liked seeing the fact that these figures are going to continue into Titan's Return, but I sort of dislike how lazy and chunky they're making them because the Legends figures in Combiner Wars, some of them had some fairly complicated transformation. These guys look pretty simple. I've said before that Combiner Wars, all the vehicle modes had this chunky design to them, and so it almost seems like the vehicle modes were designed for the previous generations line for Combiner Wars, and now they've gotten around to actually designing figures for the current line that they're doing because Titan's Return and Combiner Wars both share this very, very chunky, very, very sort of it's quite a strong feeling, or quite a strong aesthetic to them, just because there's all these hard lines and stuff all over them. But I don't know. Sometimes I think it encourages a little bit of laziness in the design.
Well, even that vehicle mode, just only having half the tracks visible, the big chunk of plastic hanging over the front of the tracks.
Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, but yeah. Look, let's move on. There's one more Legends figure to talk about in here, and he's kind of controversial, isn't he? Because usually he speaks in rhymes and no one likes him, but I actually reckon that the Wheelie figure out of Titan's Return looks pretty good. I enjoy
the look of him.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty awesome, and his alt mode is still that very same sort of race car, little compact race car design from G1. I think it's alright. He does, however, have fake canopy chest.
Actually, reading in the article, it said in alt mode he has enough space and a seat to put Titan Master figures in.
Yeah, the heads actually go in there.
Yeah, so the Titan Master figures are not that big because they just transform into heads, but still, yeah.
I reckon they hit the ball out of the park for the colour.
Yeah, I think so too. Except this is just a render. We'll see what it looks like in the package. It'll be this searing orange.
It seems to be one of the high points out of Toy Fair. Just no one was expecting to see it, and everyone that I've heard pretty much loves it. So,
if you continue to read down in the article, there's actual pictures of the figures in hand.
Yeah, there is. Yep. Yeah, see, Blur looks a lot bluer than what he was in those last pictures.
Yeah, you sort of expect that. Scourge, I think, quite suffers. Oh, actually, so if you look at Scourge, we're talking about his three-pronged gun. So the top prong appears to come out and actually form another gun for the other hand.
Yeah, it combines. His Decepticon symbol's a lot smaller and hardly noticeable.
That's all right. Now, one figure that they haven't really shown us much of out of this is Galvatron. Now, they did show us a lot of him earlier, but he is there in a couple of the background shots. So Brad's showing us some of the pictures from TFW 2005, and it's some of the, I guess they're not really in hand images. They're just they're in stand images of some of the pictures on display. I gotta say, I don't like Scourge. I kind of like Rumble. I think they've actually. I reckon they've nailed the face on Rumble.
Yeah,
he's pretty decent. I do like that Galvatron.
Yeah, Galvatron looks cool, and Wheelie isn't that searingly bright either.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, if you go down past Galvatron.
A couple of photos down there, bro.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, look, he doesn't look like searingly bright at the moment. He still might be. I mean, like, this is on a trade show floor, so who knows what this looks like? And in actual fact, he might be purple. We can't really tell.
Well, even that blue dinosaur headmaster that's beside him, that's a lot deeper purple in the art we've seen.
The blue dinosaur? You mean the purple dinosaur?
The purple one, yeah. Sorry, it's a lot darker colour than what's in the CG stuff we've seen.
Yeah, this is true.
So the colours are changing slightly.
Well, it's not. They're not changing. It's just that production colours are always different to on-screen colours. So fair enough. Look, let's move on. There is one last figure to talk about in Titan's Return. He is one big mofo, and that is Fort Max. He's a heavy retool of Metroplex. But that does nothing to deter us from him whatsoever. He looks pretty awesome. In some of the photographs that we've seen, he actually looks larger than Metroplex, but I'm not entirely sold on that. I think some of the photographs of him that we've seen are perhaps where people have done a little bit of photoshopping and adjusting things to try and get the perspective right, and I think it's more the comparison that's at fault.
And he has got a bigger head than Metroplex, so I think it's sort of sticking up a little bit more than what Metroplex's was. Yeah, this is true. He does have a massive head.
I just like the fact that Fort Max is like a headmaster that has a headmaster.
His headmaster is a headmaster.
And the detail too.
I'm not so sure about that. No, I'm not so sold on the detail myself.
Where's his head?
I mean, bear in mind that a lot of the colours that we see are just going to be like plastic in that colour, and it's going to be unpainted. So you're going to lose a lot of that detail, like especially around where the Autobot symbol is in his chest. Like, you're not going to see any of that detail around the sides of it, and around his shoulders. You're going to lose all of that as well. But it is what it is. It's how Hasbro makes their toys.
Yeah, white out for the Takara version.
I guess so. People have been talking about the Takara version of Metroplex. I don't actually remember seeing one.
It was the same one, just had a second gun.
Oh, okay. So why are you waiting for the Takara version again?
Because he's more heavily in lore than what Metroplex was, maybe.
Because he's got a second gun.
Well, the Takara one should have a sword and all that stuff.
For Fort Max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but in saying
The-
that,
the
you could
big
also
sword.
just wait, and just enjoy the fact that Hasbro's actually done something decent instead of being like, oh, Takara will do a better job.
I think there's been a few cases over the last 18 months where people have actually called into question some of the stuff that Takara's done instead of Hasbro and just gone, actually, I kind of prefer the Hasbro version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, look, Fort Max, he's going to be massive. He's going to be this year's Devastator, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
know that who was it who won the fan ballot for the next Titan?
Trypticon.
Which figure? Trypticon? Yeah, Trypticon's not coming out till next year. Trypticon will be a good foil for Metroplex and Fort Max. So yeah, we'll see.
Apparently they had it's not in any photos, but apparently they had a mock-up, a wooden scaled Trypticon.
Wow, they still use
Toy
wood.
Fair.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to sort of scale how he was going to stand up against Fort Max. So we didn't see those photos, but
No, but still cool. All right, let's move on.
I'm definitely in for this.
All right, that's cool. Like Fort Max, we think he's coming out around mid-year, don't we?
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
August or something like that, like the others have been. You'll probably see him SDCC as the exclusive, and he'll be at retail after that.
Yeah, maybe. So we actually did get the SDCC version of Devastator sold from some of our online retailers here, so maybe that'll turn up again. Yeah. It did come through after, but yeah. Okay, let's look at the last bit of Hasbro news. There was a Platinum Edition set of Cyclonus, Scourge, and a Sweep revealed, and these guys look pretty nice. I'm quite surprised. I saw this listed originally, and I didn't want anything to do with it, but yeah, I find that I find myself oddly interested in them, and also these are actually pictures of the toys, because you can see that Hasbro has mistransformed one of them.
Where?
If you compare the vehicle mode of the Scourge and the Sweeps, you can see the hands are differently oriented between the vehicles. That would be Scourge, not Cyclonus.
Oh.
So see vertical hands and keep going down. Vertical hands and horizontal hands. Hello, Hasbro. Your transformation person has struck again. But I got myself the Decepticon set a couple of weeks ago from eHobby that had a transparent Scourge, Galvatron, and Cyclonus. I gotta say these I think are quite nice companion pieces to them. I like the fact that they're not completely transparent; that there's just parts of them.
Yeah, I kind
guess
of
it's
like
fine.
that fact.
I guess finally one Platinum set I'm definitely considering finding and getting.
I think so too. Yeah,
because I don't have any of these figures in the Generations line, so. But,
I'd say when it comes out, I would be pretty inclined to look at that. Also notable is that this is the first time they've released Cyclonus in ages without his Target Master. He's got a fairly standard long rifle in these shots.
Yep. Are they the same height ears as the Generations one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
They didn't try and tweak the head for the comic.
No. He's just the straight up Cyclonus figure from Generations. One thing I did find, and this was also true with the version of Cyclonus from the Decepticon set, the red light piping on Cyclonus's eyes is really effective when his head is transparent. He looks quite haunting and quite possessed. There's also a bit of discussion over the face of one of the Sweeps. If you scroll back up to the other one there, Brad. There you can see his face is quite different. Now they're saying that this is actually a head that's very similar to a figure from the BotCon 2014 box set as well. So there had been a thought that Hasbro wouldn't be able to use that sculpt. So maybe they haven't. Maybe they've just done something different to just differentiate this figure. I mean, besides that, there's no difference between these guys. So yeah, you got to do something.
No mustache.
Yeah, actually no, sorry. There is actually a bit of a difference between them because one has a sort of a midnight dark. It's not quite black, but very dark grey looking. The other is actually purple, and Scourge himself is actually purple, whereas the Sweeper's black. So yeah, fair enough. Let's move on. There's two sets of non-transformable figures that have been shown off at Toy Fair. The first is from a group called Soap Studios. Now, we talked about these guys back in episode, I think it was about 43, 44.
Yeah, somewhere there.
So yeah, these are some figures that Soap Studios has made up to represent some of the G1 characters. Yeah, I reckon they look alright. Spike has a slightly oversized head, I think.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a Ghostbusters toy.
Yeah, he does too. You're quite right. But yeah, so they're very stylized versions of the characters, and I think that's okay. I assume these guys are going to be the first in a series, so whatever that is. Now, there's something saying that they're selective country only, so they're only going to launch in some countries, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm honest, looking at these guys, they kind of feel like the Rescue Robots versions of their characters.
I'd hope it's a free pack.
Rescue Robots.
I hope it's a free pack, and I hope it's under $20.
I reckon with that much plastic in them, they're going to be more expensive. I don't. Like I said,
what's the thing? Are they hollow? Are they solid? You don't know if
they look pretty solid to me. When you look at that shot that you've got up there, like Prime's legs look a little bit ridiculous. Maybe it's the perspective. I don't know, but it's kind of ridiculous how his legs sort of come down and his feet at almost a 30-degree angle to his legs. But
that's a masterpiece. Ironhide ankle ratchet.
Maybe, yes. So look, there's that. There's those Soap Studios figures. Let's also have a look. This one's come out, and just for the last week, the Toys Alliance. They've licensed the sort of G1 Optimus Prime style. I gotta say, there looks like there's quite some difference between the Optimus Prime of the artwork and the Optimus Prime of the figure. Because they said that they've based it on the IDW appearance of the character, but that character has a very pronounced angle on the chest, and he has chrome above the windows, and it sort of hangs down quite a lot, but you can't quite see it. I'm sorry, I should actually say what we're talking about. These guys have announced that they've licensed the G1 Optimus Prime for what they call a Mega Action, and so it's an 18-inch action figure. So he's going to have posable arms and legs and stuff, but of course he's not going to transform because when you make something that detailed at that size, it doesn't transform. But that's okay. So they're going to release more details on the figure soon, but he's going to be pretty big at 18 inches tall. He's pretty big.
But I'm actually buy it.
Maybe it depends. I mean, if you like having Reveltech figures and stuff like that, even maybe he might go well with some Hot Toys figures. I don't know. Maybe probably not with the Hot Toys figures. Like the Hot Toys figures tend to have their glossy artwork and stuff, but he looks really nice in details, and maybe he'll even just stand aside a Masterpiece Prime. We'll see.
I think it's just a matter that the art detail hasn't transferred across to the figure as much. It's not as stylized, but.
Yeah, I think it's the accentuation of the angles that isn't quite there in the figure, but it's there in the artwork. So yeah.
I think colour.
Yeah.
Putting colour on will certainly show
some better real figure coloured images will be what settles it for me for sure. But looking at it, as for where I would put him in my collection, I have quite a few pieces of Gunpla and statuesques and Reveltech and stuff like that. He'd go fine in there. I actually kind of really enjoy that more.
I think so.
Yeah. Look.
I like the detail. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, where you see all the detail in these sort of 3D printed versions of the figures, and then it never comes out in the full figure just because you lose it in the color of the plastic. But it looks nice at this stage.
Yeah, it does. So we'll see. Hopefully, we get better images soon.
Hopefully, yeah. So there is one more Optimus Prime that we're going to talk about, and then we are out of here, and we're ready to get onto a commentary. So very quickly, Planet X announced a couple of new figures this week, but the one that took everyone's attention was their Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. Now, not entirely sure of the scale of this figure.
I believe it's Voyager.
Yeah, I was going to say he looks about the Voyager size, and there's a lot of love for the Fall of Cybertron character designs out there. There's a lot of people who try to recreate some of the figures that you can't actually buy. I've seen some people repainting Menasor, or if it's Bruticus or something from the Generations line to look more like he did in Fall of Cybertron. I've sort of passed a couple of Fall of Cybertron Optimus Primes through my collection, and yeah, I can definitely see the appeal of the character. Like he's got a bit of a G1. He's got pieces of G1 in him, but he's also quite alien as well, and it's kind of what you want for the Fall of Cybertron version. He's also got a massive sword, as Brad is showing at the moment as well.
The Ultra Magnus sword, which he does use against Megatron at the end of Fall of Cybertron, but it's good they've the head. The head isn't animation accurate because he had a lot smaller head, and especially if you got the deluxe version, his head's a lot smaller on that too. But again, paint's going to be the decider on this, but he should scale pretty nicely to the Planet X Vulcan Grimlock.
He should. I think there's also going to be some detail come on the windows around the sides of the chest that we can. There's no windows on here, but I think they'll probably make the figure sort of come to life a bit as well. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking like that, like I've got the Fall of Cybertron Ultra Magnus, and that's one of my favorite figures. For sure.
Yeah.
And they're also hinting at Starscream too, which will be good. Good to get a Voyager of that one. That's not hollow.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. There's one last piece of news.
Oh. Are you still there, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Let's move. Oh, okay. We nearly got there. And this, viewer, is what happens on a regular podcast record.
Interlude break.
Yeah. So that's where it's bad. If it was a Skype call, I'd be able to put some music in here, but I can't. He's gone. Wonder how long he talked for before he realised.
Well, that was stupid.
Yeah, that was a drop.
When did I drop out?
Pretty much as soon as you said, okay, let's go to the last thing, and then frozen.
Okay, all right, well, let's do that again. That's good, because I fluffed it up a bit while I was talking about it, and then I just didn't realise I'd dropped out, because I was actually looking at the camera, and then I was like, why is the light not going on the camera? Okay. So let's go to the last piece of news. It's a little bit, it's just a quick little bit has come out from Toy Fair to do with, thanks for showing people the wall of text there, Brad. I'm going to turn your camera off and just go back to me. So there's some news that's come out of Toy Fair. Now, Paramount announced a few weeks ago that they're looking to do Transformers. Three Transformers movies in 3 years. Now, we're getting Transformers 5 in 2017. There's going to be a Bumblebee movie in 2018, and then Transformers 6 in 2019. Although Paramount is now referring to these as Transformers 5, 6, and 7. So who knows what they're talking about? What we do know is that they've said that they're going to do Transformers 6 / the Bumblebee spin-off for a cheaper cost, and so expect less Bumblebee basically. For a cheaper cost and without Michael Bay. So Michael Bay has been making quite a lot of noise about wanting to do other things, and he's got a movie, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, that's hitting cinemas at the moment. So like he's managed to sort of go out and make another movie between his Transformers duties. So maybe they're trying to give him the chance to do that by handing Bumblebee off to someone else.
So they've just given him a reason to actually put explosions in things. Soldiers in Benghazi.
Oh yeah, no, don't even like all the Benghazi stuff is really controversial.
I'm interested to see that movie for sure, but yeah, it should be. It's legitimately so. It's 5 Bumblebee and then 7. Calling it Transformers 6 is not true because it's just focused on Bumblebee.
Yeah, look, what's probably happened here is that there's been an executive and he's just like, well, it's the 6th Transformers movie, so I'm just going to call it Transformers 6, and someone will sneak up to him afterwards and just quietly just go, hey, we're calling it Transformers Bumblebee and we're making it as a separate thing. It's a spin-off and just don't call it Transformers 6. And they're just like, it's the 6th Transformers movie. I'm going to call it what I want and you're fired. So, yeah.
A lot of people have been losing their shit about, okay, it's going to be low budget, everything else, but low budget works. What was District 9? It was only a low budget film. It worked.
Screw District 9. We have the ultimate low budget movie story in cinemas right now,
Deadpool, yeah, true. I was going to bring it up, but
made for a budget of 50 or 59 million. Tiny.
They've got all the animation for Bumblebee already. They don't have to change it, even though if they want to make new toys, I suppose they will. But he only needs 2 or 3 Cybertronian characters, and the rest human characters, and there's your budget. So
I reckon he's only got 1 Cybertronian character. That's why it's called Bumblebee.
He's got a little Cybertronian bird that sits on his arm the whole time.
Yeah, it's called Woodstock. All right, look, I think that's about it for the news. Let's bring this to a close because we do have a commentary to record, which should be following this podcast immediately in the podcast feed. You guys can expect that soon. What commentary are we doing, Brad? It's the Ultimate Doom, isn't it?
Doing G1 Season 1, the Ultimate Doom 3-parter.
Excellent. Look forward to that. This is of course the voice of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. We are off the shelf and we're off the air now as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for 1 year.
Yeah,
yes, happy anniversary, everyone. And yeah, thanks for listening. And
Thank you.
Yeah, we will see you next week. Bye.
We'll do. Bye.
See ya.
Okay, broadcast.